Hello, we have been looking at Colossians 1 about prayer and the way we can think about prayer in terms of thanksgiving and petition. So the previous two videos we looked at thanksgiving, and now we're going to look at petition and how our petitions can be reflected in a way that honors God. I think we typically think of petitions, the things come to our minds regarding family members or personal needs or something like that, and that's all fine. But we have an example here in Colossians of things that the Apostle Paul prays for that we should consider as well. Let me read Colossians 1 a little bit further down from where we were reading before, starting in verse 9, so we can see what he asks for from the Lord and is a model for us. Verse 9 of Colossians 1, "And so, from the day we heard, we have not ceased to pray for you, asking that you may be filled with the knowledge of his will and all spiritual wisdom and understanding, so as to walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing to him, bearing fruit in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God." So you see this remarkable petition put forth to us as an example. The Apostle Paul, and by example we, need to be asking God, what is your will? What is the ethical behavior? What is the mindset that I should have so that I can walk in it? Sometimes we think about wanting to know the will of God. We think about career decision or relationship decision, and that's important. But here we see the will of God, asking God about that it's about knowing what ethical behavior, what mindset do we need to have as Christians. As Christians, this is something that's important to us. This is something that we really value, and we need to continue to seek the Lord over. It says in here that we're asking to be fully pleasing to him. Now, this language is newer. It's not as common in the Old Testament, but in the New Testament, there's a lot of this language about being pleasing to the Lord, that is to Jesus Christ. And if it says here that we need to be fully pleasing to him, that means that there are situations in which we are not fully pleasing to him, or maybe not pleasing at all to him. And we're not pleasing to him when we're not walking according to his ways and understanding and walking in his statutes. And so we need his help to be there. We need his help, his insight. The way God answers this prayer, sometimes it's God puts things into our minds we weren't aware of in terms of how we should think and how we should act to be fully pleasing before him. Sometimes as we're reading the Bible, he'll bring passages to our mind, make them particularly insightful for us, sort of a flash in some ways, and then we realize, oh, this is what the Lord wants me to do and how to live out the situation in a relationship or in a business context. Sometimes he'll do it through other people, a sermon or a friend speaking to us. As a result of our prayers, he'll use these things and bring these things to our mind. Like, this is how I can live and be fully pleasing to the Lord in my thought and in my actions. So this is something that needs to be part of our prayers and makes our prayers more powerful. Part of whether we succeed in this depends on whether we are praying this prayer regularly to the Lord. So we spend time thanking God in our prayers, but we also spend time petitioning God, and particularly as this passage points out, that we're asking him, what are your ways, Lord, and how do we walk in them? It's a wonderful part of our regular prayer life. Thanks for listening and watching. God bless.